Hi, I'm the Tale Weaver Omar, and DM here at A Tale of D20's Network.
Hi, I'm Zektown, and I am the DM here at A Tale of D20's Network.
Zek, you know I am the Dungeon Master for the drama-fueled, anime-inspired fantasy epic Descent into the Void, right?
Yes, but Omar, you know I am the Dungeon Master for the comedy-riddled, trope-smashing fantasy epic The Natural Ones.
I guess both of them are perfect shows for a tabletop podcasting network.
It's a good thing that people can find us at ataleofd20s.com then.
Yeah, you can also find us on Twitter at A Tale of D20s. That's at ATALEOFD20S, A Tale of D20s.
And you can find each show on Twitter at The Nat Ones Cast, at THENAT1SCAST, The Nat Ones Cast, or Descent Void at DESCENTVOID, Descent Void on Twitter.
So, if you want thrilling drama
or a side-splitting comedy, A Tale of D20s has you covered.
Greetings, Dungeon Delvers, and welcome to yet another exciting chapter of Theros, Gods and Glory, where friends join together to tell a story of mythic proportion. So, before we begin, I just wanted to give a shout out to our guests who have joined us on our one-shot for today. So, let's just give a warm welcome to Jordan from Agents of a Dam. So Jordan, can you give us a little synopsis about who you are and your podcast?
Gladly. My name is Jordan. I am the sometimes benevolent, often malevolent dungeon master of the Agents of Damned podcast. Our story is of three adventurers who have joined the Department of Adventurers Maintaining Normality and Eradicating Debacles, or DAMNed, who work to prevent any sort of calamity or disaster from arising in the first place. Podcast can be found anywhere you find great podcasts, such as this one. But our website is at agentsofdamned.com, and our Facebook is AOD, our Twitter is Agents of D, and our Instagram and TikTok are at Agents of Damned.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming today and embarking on this journey of epic proportion. And next up, let's give a warm welcome and a shout out to Declan, who runs Romancing the Dungeon. So, Declan, please give us a brief synopsis about your podcast and where we can find you and listen to all your amazing content.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. Romancing the Dungeon is a ridiculous little Irish podcast about four heroes navigating their daily lives and occasionally fighting monsters, unraveling nefarious plots, but more often than not just dealing with the complications of their relationships, both romantic, familial, friendship, and even enemies. The show is a mix sometimes of comedy and drama, and you can find us and our new project Rise of the Forsaken on Twitch for the podcast. It's on pretty much anywhere that will host podcasts, so Spotify, iTunes, and if you want to give us a look or find out more about us and the two shows that we run, you can just find us anywhere at D8 Dungeon.
Awesome. And you can catch all information on our friends on our website at www.ataleod20s.com. And of course, joining us as well as we go on this journey are two familiar faces from Descent into the Void and the Nat One cast. So first up, please give us a little shout out for Travis. How's it going?
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm super excited. You all know me. I play King or Harley Quinn in Descent into the Void and help as the Director of Operations for ATOD. I'm super excited. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And of course, the familiar gunslinger and the DM of the Nat 1 cast, we have Zeki here with us. Hello, Zek.
Hey, everybody. It's Zektown here. Like always, get to play Cal on our Descendants of the Void show. Get to DM the Natural Ones. And today I get to try something new, and I hope you all enjoy it. I'm very excited to play D&D with everybody, some for the first time, which is an exciting thing.
Oh, very, very. And of course, I am your resident Tale Weaver, Omar, CEO and owner of A Tale D20s, and I am excited to bring Theros, Gods and Glory to the forefront. It's our West March style campaign, one-shot campaign where heroes will join in at random times and continue to embark on quests that can fold and bend the very fabric of space and time itself, all by the gods who live in Nyx. So, without further ado, let's remove the bookmark and start our epic tale. Theros, a plane of magic and wonder, a plane where the dreams and hopes of its inhabitants bend the very fabric of space and time. From the Siren Sea to the west, to the Oranian Mountains to the north, this mystical world takes the rough and weary and molds them into brilliant, gallant heroes. Heroes that protect the world governed by the gods who stay high up above in the realm called Nyx. But all is not quiet within the realm of Nyx. The gods fight constantly, and their bickering holds peril from the world below, the mortal realm. Here, reality can shatter and change, affecting the lives of the mortals that walk amongst Theros. The gods, however, are kind. Each have their own devices, but they are in need of the dreamers of Theros, of the mortals that worship them below. So they bless special champions with their powers, imbuing them with the celestial might of Nyx to right the wrongs that they have wrought upon the mortal realm, whether they admit it or not. Akros, Satessa, Miletus, cities known as Peleus. These are where heroes of legend are born, molded, and their legend lives on. You, my friends, are but a handful of those heroes. You are great mighty warriors from Camp Alepharin of Miletus, the finest warriors of all throughout the land. Here you have traveled, fought, bled, cried, all in the name of the gods that you serve, and serve you shall. For the night stretches on, and darkness arises, and the gods call upon their champions once again to fight and defend Theros. Camp Alepharin is one of the mightiest of camps that harbor heroes. Here, heroes are shaped, nurtured, and carved to perfection, and set off to do the bidding, no questions asked, of the entities of Nyx. No task is too great, no quest too dangerous for the heroes of Camp Alepharin of Miletus. The polis of ingenuity, knowledge, progression, magic, and wonder. The setting is summer. What should be warm and long days instead has been replaced by even longer nights and cold winds. It's very odd around this time. Sometimes you go 3, 4, sometimes even a 10-day without seeing the sun. Why has Heliod forsaken you? Is this a work of the dark forces from Udanos? Or perhaps something from Erebos? Who knows? As heroes of Alepharin, you wait your turn to be chosen by the gods, hopefully to put an end to this darkness. And so, we shall begin. The moon is high, full with no clouds in sight. You all are resting. At this point, it's been about 4 days since the sun has risen. There's a cool breeze that blows across the land. Restless, you all lie in your individual houses. The houses of Pharika, Heliod, Crufix, and Clothis. We first turn to a large house full of many worshippers of the goddess of poison and death and healing. Laying down on your bed, Arkno, your eyes blink open. Restless you are. You look around your room and at the familiar fixtures that you can see. Stand up, stretch, and go towards a mirror. Describe how you look like and how your room looks.
So, Arkno is a Firbolg, but not as big as most other Firbolg. He's actually, even by most other races, fairly small, about like 5 foot, with long, raven black hair that at first glance almost appears to be moving, but not really the hair so much as maybe something within it. On the little table where the mirror he's looking into is one of the only possessions that he has. He's very minimalist, and it's this mask made from the bark of a tree and covered in spider webs. It vaguely resembles a spider's face itself. He never leaves the room without that.
Alrighty. So as you look at yourself, stretch, looking around your room, there's a familiar ping in your head. As always, randomly, the 3 oracles on Oracle Mountain reach out to heroes who were chosen by the gods to go on quest. It's been quite some time since you've heard your call, and you've just been waiting and waiting. But sure enough, there is a small ping in your head. Until after about a moment, you hear, "Attention, attention. Those who can hear this, you have been chosen by the gods. Please head up immediately to the Oracle Mountain, and I, the priestess Pythia, will award you with your quest. Make haste, the gods don't like to wait. Ta-ta for now." And hearing this, you understand that heading out of the camp, going north, following the moon's movements, you can make your way up the high mountain where there is a pantheon of sorts, where the priestess lies in wake all the time. It's been a very long time since you've heard the call, so it's exciting for a hero as you can gather the little bit of things that you need and head up.
Basically everything that he owns. He puts on his mask, gathers all of his weapons, medicines, all that stuff, and heads off to see the Oracle.
Alrighty. So you go ahead and leave outside of your room in this 3-story house. You see there are many people who worship Pharika, running about and pay them no mind. Little children, adults, all champions. As you go and leave the door, close it behind you, the entire atmosphere is very earthy and medicine-y. You can even have wafts of poison and healing herbs can reach your nose as you finally leave the door, looking back one last time, making your way through the camp. The camp is large. It's almost like its own mini palace, with different sections for each of the worshippers, and as well as a central meeting place where you will go to pick up items and things you need before going on your way. But you head out to the northern gate, go past the many buildings and the people who walk about, some people wave to you, and make your way up the mountain. Also waking up, where it is dark as night outside. Inside of this large 5-story building, probably the largest building in all of Camp Alepharin, the sun, pseudo-sun, shines bright, giving kind of a refuge from the darkness on the outside. So, Kali, you awaken to the gentle breeze that has been prestidigitated within the confines of this household of Heliod. You wake yourself up, step in front of the mirror, describe how you and your room looks.
Oh, time to wake up. And as I look in the mirror, I see a large minotaur with golden locks between his horns, and almost as if there was a mantle of a cape beginning. You see red fur around my shoulders and neck, to a burnt orange skin tone for the rest of my body. I'm probably about 7'5" and can strike quite a bold pose. I may happen to practice a couple of these poses as I stretch, getting myself ready.
All right. Flexing in the mirror, you are pleased with your reflection as a small ping appears into your mind, a familiar ping, and gosh, has it been quite some time, as you hear a voice appear in your head. Greetings, champions of Belethrin. It is I, Priestess Pathia. The gods have sent a message, and if you can hear this, please report to the Oracle Mountain, and you will receive your gift. Do not dally. You know how the gods can get. Ta-ta!
I gather up my things. I throw my lute over my shoulder after putting my sword on, and make my way north.
Okay, heading out the room. Now, Heliod is probably one of the greater of gods, much to a lot of the other worship gods and goddesses' chagrin. So you see there are a lot of worshippers, and even at this time of day, there are so many people who are running about. It's busy in here, mayhem. As you walk throughout this beautiful, bright building, there are just pictures of the sky and the sun, shades of blue and yellow. As you continue to make your round, several different other races of Therosians are just running across, humans, satyrs, nymphs, and all the likes as they go, excuse me, and they just bash into you, and you just easily, being much larger than all of them, make your way past. Going down the staircase, you open the door. As you open it up, the warm, cooling, the warm feeling you got from the inside of Heliod's temple, if you will, goes away as a cool breeze pushes in and night shows itself before you, juxtaposition to the atmosphere you had before. You close the door and walk your way north towards the Oracle Mountain. Okay. Time is fleeting. Time is never seen, though it's always there, and the mysteries of the universe flow around all of us. These are the things that are constantly told within the household of Krufix. As Valoran, you constantly hear these words said throughout the temple. This god, being one of the older ones, has, even though that he is an older god, he is not worth it that much. You have a small one-story building. Very little worshippers are here, but maybe you like the quiet. Maybe that's to your liking. But nevertheless, you awaken. Stepping up, you look around your room. Time is wasted and waits for no one as you step and look in front of the mirror. Please, describe how you look in your room.
Valoran is a tiefling with teal skin and two horns that sort of twist from his brow, kind of an ombre, heavy pink from teal into pink. Shoulder length white hair, wavy, very sharp, chiseled features, and he has quite a long frame, but he's in no way, shape, or form athletic. He's quite skinny. Tending to a physical regime or tending to a proper diet is something that he does not consider worthy of his time. And he rolls his whole body, like he literally just rolls from his ankles right up to his shoulders, stretching himself out. And the temple might be small, but Valoran's room is not lacking for want, as it is filled with some very expensive looking tapestries and shelves filled with books, and just stacks of paper, and just kind of eyeing a stack that he's left on the table. He sees his open journal and just rolls his eyes.
Okay, staring at your open journal, as you start to look at it, a small pinging, a ringing in your head appears. Greetings, heroes. It's that time again. The gods have sent a message, and if you can hear this, you have been chosen to embark on a quest. Please head to Oracle Mountain and receive your gifts. Do not dally. You know how the gods can get. Ta-ta!
Valoran is, as much as this has happened, not used to hearing other people's voices in his head unless he chooses to do it. So it's always a little bit disgusting. It's okay. So who was that? I didn't sense anything. And then looks at a trunk resting in front of his bed. Opens it, takes out a rather neatly packed, effectively his adventuring pack. Takes the journal from the table, and it's quite a heavy, leather-bound, reinforced, hard spine on it. Book from it, a couple of pots of ink, and sets that to the door, and then makes his bed, like he cleans the room, thinking to himself that the gods don't like dalliance, but they sure, Valoran doesn't like an unmade bed, and finishes cleaning his room, and then heads out the door, making his way to Oracle Mountain.
Okay. There are not many worshippers, as I said before, so you go ahead and leave the small, and it's still a temple in honor of your god, and there are just a couple people sweeping, cleaning. Everyone mostly keeps themselves here. A lot of the acolytes in their robes give you a nod as you open up the door, enter into the cold breeze, heading your way through the camp up to the mountainside. And lastly, inside the temple of Clothis, its beautiful tapestry showing that of the gods and their battles above. Every room is like a painting of constellations for the goddess of destiny. As awakening from your borrowed home, as you temporarily take refuge here, Dirk, your eyes blink open. You sit up and look around your room, checking the mirror to make sure everything is well. Describe how you look and how your room looks.
Dirk is a little bit of an older gentleman. He has a head of white spiky hair that is blown back, with a curling white mustache and white striking beard, and a long ponytail in his back, sort of unkempt. He pulls back and ties it, as he always does in the morning, and as he does, you see his thick biceps and his thick arms, his wide chest and neck. He is a half Goliath, half human man with a big, solid build. He is a working person and brute by trade. In his room, there are a few trinkets and a few things around, but the possession he looks towards first is a large great axe that has strands of white silken materials strung around it. And next to that, curled up at its base, is a white snake.
All right. As you stand there underneath the tapestry of constellations of many different battles, and this entire temple, once again, sort of like Crufix's temples, whereas the older gods, the original gods, don't seem to be worshipped as much as they should, albeit it's still a beautiful place. Every room depicts a different place and time, a different destiny yet to be fulfilled, as you hear the pinging in your head. And you're not used to this. You're not from Balefaran like the others. You traveled here, and it's a little jarring, but eventually you get used to it as you hear, Hi there, greetings. If you hear this, the gods have chosen you to embark on an epic quest. Please head out of the camp to the north up to the Oracle Mountain and see me to receive your gifts and embark on your journey. Thank you, don't dally, or the gods might smite you. Goodbye.
I will look towards the white snake and say, Cigar, you are right. She calls for us. Let's go! And I'll scoop him up, and he's still a little sleepy, and I will place him on my head like braided rope, like a crown. And I'll grab my pack, my great axe, offer a quick bow to the tapestries. Clothis, you guide me. And out the temple I go.
Alrighty. And so you head out, a cool breeze touching your skin, though it doesn't affect you. You're used to the cold from the high mountains. As you take a deep breath, look up as the moon for the third, fourth, fifth, you've lost count at this point, day in a row is high up. You go, hoping that this is the quest to finally put the world back to normal, and you all make your way up the mountainside. It doesn't take long, probably about 20 minutes to a half an hour, as you all journey up the mountainside. The moon is high, shining down, casting about a bright light so you can all easily see. There are no clouds in sight. As you start to climb and make your way up, the air gets thinner and thinner as you make your journey, as each of you start to see 3 more bodies make their way up on opposite sides of the mountain till they finally converge, thereby seeing each other for the first time. Or, if you know each other from before, you recognize a familiar face.
Is that you, Sokal?
Hey everybody, how's it going?
It's, pretty dark. Too dark,
Yeah.
if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm not really stoked about that.
Perhaps you are right this time.
As always.
I am confused. Do you two not like each other? I'm getting very mixed signals.
I love everybody.
This is a good attitude to have.
With the warmth of Heliod, we can all get along.
There's a time and a place for everything. I'll admit, it's a little dark, but don't get carried away.
What about you, my fellow horned dude?
Valoran's just going to look around. Valoran of the Moon's Eye, I appreciate the pleasantries of what I assume is a local colloquialism. But as thrilling as this conversation is outside, it is quite cold, and Valoran is not dressed appropriately at all. It's basically... It's a coat with a fur trim, and there's no vest or anything underneath it. It's just and pants and boots. He's an idiot. So perhaps we could continue the pleasantries as we ascend the mountain, and we are spared the frigid nature of a day without the sun again.
I don't know, I kind of liked the cold. It's crisp and refreshing.
Valoran holds up his fingertips. I'm not normally this shade. And yeah, his fingers are like a darker shade of blue.
Well, perhaps you need to do some high knees. And then you see me start lifting my legs up and getting energized.
Perhaps you could just carry me. And Valoran is just gonna keep trudging up the mountain.
Alrighty.
What about you, little dude? What's your name?
Arkno,
Nice to meet you, Arkno.
a pleasure as well.
Your house is in quite good celebrations these days. Your house is all over the news.
Yes,
It must be a ravaging party over in Farika's temple.
I tend to pay no mind to the others. I am there simply for my own studies.
Astute man. I see, as I scratch my white, sharp beard. I'm still learning to hone my expertise with knowledge. Perhaps I will speak with you later to learn your techniques. But for now, it's high knees! High knees! And he's lifting his knees up, sort of now charging in front.
Alrighty. So after your brief meeting with each other, you continue to trudge up the mountain for about another 15 minutes as you make your way up, the air getting ever so thinner. But you're adventurers, you're hardy, it doesn't affect you as much, and many of you, if not all of you, have made this trek before. Eventually, you see off into a distance what looks to be a large pantheon, a huge building with columns that shine white like the moon that's above in the sky. As you step closer and closer, you realize how small you are compared to this epic temple, as you can look through its doors and see just barely off into the distance what looks to be a small enclave with a light shining down the middle, and a vision of what seems to be a person standing there, dressed in all white. As you step in, going in there, passing through the threshold, the entire atmosphere then changes from being cold to just being whatever you feel to be comfortable. As turning her head over, standing behind what looks to be a strange stone table, almost like an altar of sorts, with many things placed on it. Probably goes about 5 feet across, and a couple feet in the other direction. The priestess turns. Her hair is long and white. There's a sky, a canopy, open skylight shining down, and the moon hits her just perfectly. Her fine skin, like silk, and her ears are shaped like an elf, showing her fey lineage. Her eyes are gray as she turns to you and smiles, standing about 5'5". Finally. It is so good that you came. Oh my goodness. How's the weather out there? Terrible, I heard.
Dirk is the first one to kneel. Pythia, great teller of destiny. He kneels down and takes a cigar off of his head and puts the snake on the floor too, who also kneels as well. It is cold and dark. What prophecies has Clothos brought us?
Well, let me see here. Just give me one moment. And she walks on over towards the left-hand side. When she does, you see that there's a wall with hundreds upon hundreds of scrolls, all within little boxes that she goes, not this one. Apocalypse? No, not yet. Which one is it? This is it. The ending of the sun. Okay, let's see. And she pulls it out, unfurls it, and then she begins to read. Oh, yes, this is it. Well, are you in for quite the treat on this one? A dangerous mission. A joint request from the god of time and the god of the sun. Oh, well, praise be. Hopefully you'll get their boons along the way. It seems like the passage of time has been halted, or at least slowed down. And we need the sun to keep ourselves warm. And then she begins to go and says, let's see what the prophecy says now. And she starts to pull down the scroll, keep pulling it over her hand until finally the light above her goes from kind of this warm, gentle moonlight to harsh light that shines on her. Instantly, her clothes begins to kind of float in the wind that picks up. Her long white hair begins to become wild, and her skin glows even more like a silky milk white than it did before. As her entire demeanor change, you can feel the omnipresence escaping from her as she has shifted into more of a divine-like state as she goes.
For shall travel far across the brine to return the fire that burned the temple of time. Travel first to the bottom tip of knowledge to find the guide who none acknowledge. Sight without eyes, sound without ears. Use this against the sirens you fear. It is seen under the tapestry of the gods. Go forth to the light to increase your odds. With eyes wide open, retrieve the stones, then free the sun to shine the unknown.
Did y'all get that?
That is always so wild to see.
Dirk has his eyes bright open, completely in awe, sort of Steven Universe stars in my eyes, touch of destiny.
Yes, I got it. Valorant has a quill and his journal open. He's been kind of literally writing the whole thing down.
Okay. And to say it in a normal voice, just so you hear it, it's a 4 shall travel across the brine to return the fire that burns the temple of time. Travel first to the bottom tip of knowledge to find the guide who none acknowledge. Sight without eyes, sound without ears. Use this against the sirens you fear. Then it's seen under the tapestry of the gods. Go forth to the light to increase your odds. With eyes wide open, retrieve the stones, then free the suns to shine the unknown.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you to repeat that when we get to that point.
Sure. I would type it, but there may be wordplay in there, so I will not type it out. All right. She then turns to you all. Well, if you need anything here, I have a little assortment for you all. As her hair has gone a bit down, she's back into perfect, immaculate clothes in her white robes, her milky skin in the moon shining down normally, with just a slight, comfortable breeze inside of the temple. You may or may not need this, but, and she slides over a bag that you hear jingle. There's 500 gold pieces for you all in case you need to do whatever you need to do with it. Not to mention, all of you can get these mystical potions. And she steps behind that table, ducks down, and then pulls up what seems to be vials of potions. A total of 5 potions.
Rego potions of healing.
Potions of healing.
Got it.
Who wants this extra one?
For what it's worth, I do study healing. Perhaps leaving it with me might be the better option.
All right. I have no quips with that.
I do, but fine.
I'm glad you acknowledge this is the smart decision.
Right. And do you wish to evenly take all the money, or do you want to give it to one person? If you evenly take it, I can distribute it to all of you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
We can pool it together if we need to buy a group item.
Thank you for these gifts.
Don't thank me. They're gifts from the gods, specifically Krufix and Heliod.
It is so fantastic. We are honored by Lord Krufix
And Heliod.
and Heliod.
I am super, super excited to do some work for Heliod.
Well, that is wonderful. And as a worshiper, I'm sure he'll try to aid you as much as he can. Or not. Just prove yourselves worthy. You know the drill. Well, I have much more prophecies to foretell and other adventurers to set on their way. So feel free, once you figure out where you need to go next, to head down to the town square and hop yourselves on probably one of them fancy old celestial Pegasids, and then head your way over to, well, you figure out the rest. Ta-ta now. You see her then place her finger on her head and say, hi, searching out for the other heroes, and she goes on. You all leave the temple and begin to head your way down. So the journey doesn't take long. You go back down the mountain with your new belongings, heading on to the town square. You can see that it's the time of day technically would be around midnight-ish, but people have lost their track of time due to the fact that the sun has barely risen. But now you know why, and you've been put on that quest. As you step into the city, the town square proper, you see there are many shops and stands and weaponry, magical shops for reagents for purchasing, as well as other doodads and knickknacks to aid you on your quest. You can easily find your way to the stables where the celestial Pegasids are to take you to your journey. They are only bound to Belephrin, so they'll drop you off where you can within the borders of Miletus and not anywhere further, and then head directly back. So, as you finally arrive there, a giant statue of all the gods placed out there with fountains going down, giving this beautiful reflection of the moon from up above. Where do you guys want to do next?
I've only recently become a Camp Belefrand member. I'm from the northern mountains, so I don't think that where we need to go is somewhere I've ever been. Do we have any ideas of where we must set out to?
Just really quickly, the statues of the gods that you described, is it possible to, I'm assuming they're quite large over that, but identify the Crufix's particular piece and just silently just acknowledging it and just a little kind of internal prayer before looking at Dirk. Cross the brine.
Does that mean the water? Like the water?
Very good.
Okay. Do you know where, though? The sea's pretty big. I remember looking at it. We went in all directions. I mean, except behind us, you know.
Wonderful. The reading, the command, we have to head to the tip of knowledge. Ringing a bell.
Isn't this a peninsula? Peninsula?
I think the word you're looking for is peninsula.
Oh, sorry, not, common tongue is still, second language for me. Find more fluidity in Elvish.
Do you think we need to go down the coast? What about that city, Neolanton? Do you guys know anything about that?
DM, would we know anything about that place?
Yeah, so those of you who are residents of Miletus, you know that Neolanton is a coastal city. It's small. It's a very out of all the Polaeus, it is probably the smallest. Its common exports are fish and other types of seafood. Not a place that people normally go to, but it does have a dock and a pier.
Is that... What was the... Valoran, what was the end of the first set of words? What is that? A sentence. What's the end of the first sentence?
Cross the brine. Something, fire, temple of time. Seek at the tip of knowledge. And there's a guide that people won't acknowledge. So really, if we are hoping to make something of this quest, those first 4 lines, they are our jumping off point.
But isn't...
Not literally, Dirk, you don't actually have to jump off of anything.
I mean, I could, though.
I'm sure, with those legs, yes.
Oh, thank you. It seems like my squats have been paying off.
All those high knees.
Cigar didn't understand it, but he's just a snake, so...
I don't necessarily think Neolanton is where we're to go. We have to cross the sea, not necessarily travel down the coast.
Isn't this place known as the smart place? That's why I came here. Akros is all fighty, and Sates is all peacy, and Miletus is all magic-y. We're the smart ones here, right? I put my hand on my hip, looking for a firm acknowledgement from the rest of the other smart people in the group.
Valoran is just going to look at Artno and Sokal and just... It's going to be a very slow nod. Is there anybody that I could seek out in terms of, like, maybe a pub or a tavern that I might be able to draw extra aid from in terms of deciphering a message?
Sure. Roll me an investigation check.
Okie dokie. That's a 14.
14. Okay, not bad. Start to ponder and looking at the words that was given to you by the High Priestess Pythia. Looking around, you know that this place is full of heroes. People are knowledgeable. Going towards your left, you walk to what seems to be a small, like a shack. this is an information booth for people who, especially people who are new to Belleferin, can go to. There, standing behind it, you see is a very fuzzy satyr standing for about 3 feet tall, though probably stepping on top of some type of stool behind the actual desk of the shack. As you walk up to them, they turn to you and say, greetings, greetings, welcome. Are you looking for information? Do you need anything? How can I serve the great heroes of Belleferin?
Good evening. Delighted to see that your establishment is open even at this ungodly hour. We are looking for a little bit of information regarding a place that may be referred to as the Tip of Knowledge. We do believe it's geographically located and not something to do with the brain.
The tip of knowledge. The tip of knowledge. The satyr begins to scratch his long, scraggly beard. Well, Neolantin is at the tip of Meletus. It's usually called the tip of Meletus. Maybe that's what it's talking about.
I nudge Valoran, and I punch him in the shoulder. See?
That's so heavy.
Yeah, it's as I actually had hypothesized.
I knew you knew that.
Yeah, really what I was looking, and any good academic will tell you that you would always fact check your sources. And while I wouldn't really doubt SoCal, I do think it wise to always verify the information, and we've done that, and rather I've done that. Neolantin, I believe we have to go and get some Pegasi, and they're going to take us there.
Absolutely.
Can I give our satyr chap a little gold piece as a tip?
Sure, minus 1 gold piece. As you give it towards the satyr, he goes ahead, grabs it, bites it. Thank you, kind sir. Thank you, heroes. May the gods ever bless your journey.
You're so wise, Valoran. I'm so glad that we verified it as you suggested.
Well, you see, now it won't be a wasted journey. Now we know where we're going.
Yes, I concur. And you probably would get that Dirk is being genuine. He's he holds high reverence for worshippers of Krufix. And you're smart enough to pick up on that he, just as there's some maybe immediate disdain for worshippers of Heliod, there's the exact opposite for worshippers of Krufix.
Thank you. Valoran is going to be leaning very heavily into that going forward.
Heliod always says you should trust your gut. So let's just, should just go with the flow, head down the coast.
Should we get a boat?
I thought we were going to take some Pegasi.
No, I mean a boat when we're there. We can't put a boat on the back of a Pegasus.
I wouldn't trust a guide that doesn't have a boat.
What do you think, Arkno?
I think that might be best settled for after we get there. We make preparations now and then head off.
All right, and I put my backpack on the ground and I say, there's plenty of room in this baby. And as a Goliath, I can carry as if I was a size larger, so I can carry a bunch of our wares if we need to.
Technically so can I, but strength may have been my dump stat, so I don't know what that actually means for me.
Yeah, no, it's cool. But lots of room in this one. Thank goodness we have night vendors.
Yeah, what shops are available to us to maybe spend some of this gold?
Sure. There are all types of shops. You can get shops that have kind of mundane magical items, nothing that would be super magical from legendary items, anything like that. But you can get you can purchase more potions. They make potions here. You can get reagents from the several different shops if you want to get anything as well as weaponry, armor. There's a blacksmith, of course. Everything that you can think of in a normal town, Belleferin has.
We might be able to purchase a lesser uncommon item?
Depending on the item.
How does, I assume I could find a place that sells poisons, or at least a poisoner's kit? How would that work, mechanically for this? Would I just, need to craft poisons if it's a poisoner's kit, or would I just like apply it to a weapon that it's on it for like an attack or something? Like, how does that work?
So you would use a poisoner's kit to create the poison, and then we would just apply a basic poison that would last. Have you roll to see how potent it is on your weapon. So you would just place it on your weapon, and you will therefore make a poison weapon. Does that answer your question? Just want to make sure I actually answer your question.
No, that fully answers that question. So that's probably going to be the main thing that Arkno does, is find a place where he can get a poisoner's kit and procure that, assuming it's within 125 gold, which I would assume it is.
You can get a poisoner's kit for 50 gold pieces. You know where to go. There are places where Farika has her shops, and like I said, although it's late, people have lost all type of feeling of how patches of time correctly. So shops are open this hour, and you can easily spend 50 gold to buy a poisoner's kit. And if you do so, I will award you one, or place one in your inventory.
Yeah, Arkno will definitely do that.
Is anyone else buying anything else?
So Sagar was sitting on his head on Dirk's head like braided rope, and he sort of now is like Cleopatra style, like a snake up in the front, sort of looking around. And he says to me, "Oh, over there, you see something? Oh, okay. Just a second, guys. Sagar sees a really shiny rock he wants me to look at." And I'll walk over to a stall, and he'll slither down my arm and sort of coil around like a piece of agate or a nice shiny rock. And I'll ask the keep, "How much is this?" And my snake companion really wants it. He thinks it'd be really, really nice and helpful. And I would like a stone of good luck. It is an uncommon item that sells for normally 100 to 500 and gives a +1 bonus to ability and saving throws.
Okay. They turn to you and say, and this is a human gentleman, oh, sure. I do happen to have one remaining. You know, that's a popular item for adventurers. It would cost you 125 gold pieces.
Oh, that's exactly the amount I happen to have. Praise Clothis. She must have destined for this to happen. Pook! And I'll drop the satchel of exactly 125 gold pieces on the table and coil Cigar back up and say, "Oh, this is a very nice stone you have. Keep it safe." And I'll let him slither and hold on to the stone while I attune to it.
Alrighty, I'll place that. And I'll put both the items in the party sheet. Just drag the eye into your inventory, and I'll make sure it is identified for you. Alright, anyone doing any other shopping before you head off? No?
Yeah. So Valorant's going to do a bit of shopping, mostly to save his ego. Is it possible, and I don't know really where you're going to lie with cloth armor as a I know it's utterly useless, but he is going to go look, because he's not going to wear leather armor. He's not going to wear really any effective kind of form of armor. So I'm going clothes shopping. And I'll be looking for the same kind of outfit that I'm currently wearing, but just in different colors depending on where we're going and the weather.
Sure. Well, the weather it has been quite cold, so you might want to wear something warm-ish, though nothing that would actually affect you. What kind of clothes are you wearing? Because depending on what you want, it'll be the cost.
Yeah, so literally all Valorant threw on when he left was a long coat with kind of a fur-lined and trimmed hood, black cloth pants and boots. So he is in a state of numbness right now, and may look to acquire extra clothing to stave off the cold temperatures.
Okay, so you can get some cold weather outfits, which are a hot commodity right now, no pun intended, which would cost you about 8 gold pieces.
Perfect.
Okay. All right.
Valorant is one of those people who goes on holiday to the Alps and doesn't pack appropriately.
Valorant, are you done shopping?
Yeah, Valorant comes back with literally just bags. Bags. Yeah, yep. I'm done.
Okay. I would also like to just grab some components before we depart.
Sure.
So
What are you gathering?
I head to the closest magic shop that I can find, and are we like in an outdoor, like forum bazaar
Yes,
type?
Exactly. It's like an outdoor bazaar.
Okay. And you kind of can hear me hoofing away, and you just kind of hear me saying, "I need some of that smelly egg phosphorus stuff. And do you have some feathers? And maybe what was that last one? I think it was and I like whisper to the attendant, do you have like the heart of a hen?"
Popping out from behind the little shack in the bazaar, you see is a blue-colored dryad who stands there. Her skin almost looks like she's wearing a dress, giving that kind of illusion as she goes. She looks to her left, to her right. Yes, we happen to have some of those. How much are you? How much do you need?
I mean, maybe about like 100 golds worth.
Oh, wow. You're trying to buy me out. Well, for the heroes of Belleferin Shore. And she goes and starts to pull out a box of the 100 golds worth of the reagents that you call for. Some hearts and... she goes, I don't have a lot of hen hearts, but I do have other hearts of other creatures. Squirrel and here's one of a rabbit. I hope that works as well.
It's gotta be a hen. Sorry.
Oh, all right then. Just give me a moment. And she goes ahead and kind of disappears behind.
Do you have any glowworms instead?
Glowworms? And she said that she went to the back. Yeah. Oh, good. Those we do have. Oh,
Tight.
thank goodness.
Tight.
All right. And then she brings out. So you want 100 in total of. So it's like 25 of each because you wanted feathers. What was the other one?
Phosphorus, glowworms,
and glowworms,
and hen's hearts.
Okay, so you get a combination of all those for 100 golds worth. So you have 100 golds worth of reagents in your inventory.
Excellent, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't need the glowworms for my spells, maybe I can do some fishing. Excellent.
Sounds like a wonderful idea. Well, may the gods be ever in your favor. Take care.
Thank you. You too. Thank you. Yeah. And I rejoin the group. My backpack full, ready to go.
Okay, so everyone mark off the amount of gold that you have. So you're taking about a few minutes or so of shopping. You go ahead and meet together once again in this town square, ready to head off. The Pegaside's tender, not too far away.
Looks like we're all here. Everyone fully prepared. Nice new robes.
Mauve is my color, and Valorant is just kind of going to just pull the coat a little bit up around himself a little bit more, and then I believe the stables are this direction, and is most likely probably pointing in the wrong direction.
Roll me a d6.
That'd be a 1.
A 1. You kind of point, not knowing where you're pointing to, and as your fingers extend, you see everyone looks to see where he's pointing, and you see there's a gigantic stable with looks to be another satyr, shorter than the one that you saw before. They're tending to what seems to be very calm and beautiful, majestic Pegasides. You're shocked that you caught it, probably, or maybe not shocked, Valorin. You have spotted where the stable is.
As I said, and now it's kind of a full-on flourished gesture. Like it's like that one index finger and it's just kind of a twirl and it's a full-on point.
Like when people raise their hand for something, but then they realize that's not what it is, and so they comb back their hair, but the opposite.
Yeah.
That is a keen eye, Valorin.
You have to here in the city. You have to always have your wits about you.
Absolutely. As expected.
Being tall, I have to watch my head a lot. With these bad boys,
This is why I rely on my brothers and sisters to help me keep an eye on things.
How many siblings do you have?
Many. They live with me, always.
Interesting. I honor my elders. They're always with me, too. Goliath tradition. I'll close my eyes and hold my hand to my chest for a moment.
I think you misunderstand. I don't mean spiritually.
And Arkno's gonna like brush his fingers through his hair, and then as he extends it out to you, it is just crawling with spiders.
Oh, you seem to have an infestation, my friend.
These are my brothers and sisters, and you will do well to respect them.
Oh, I misunderstood.
Cool.
And they crawl back up my arm and into my hair again.
Blessings upon them. All 24 legs of them. Yep.
Yes, a rather close-knit family. The stables and Valoran is, again, sauntering in the direction of the satyr.
High knees. Away from the spiders.
All right. So you all make your way towards the satyr of the stable of Pegasids. You hear him kind of talking to himself. Oh, well, to the Pegasuses or the Pegasids, but he goes, yes, Bertha, yes, I know, you're restless. Soon some heroes will. Oh, and he turns and notices you. Oh well, the gods have granted us some customers, I believe. Welcome to the Pegaseed stable. By chance, are you heading off, great heroes?
We are. We require some Pegasi that don't spook easily.
Oh, well then, I will grant you the best that we have. These, one for each of you?
Do we need that? And I look to the rest of the party.
Well, how many can each Pegasus carry?
2, though this one here is quite the big one. Maybe you should have your own.
Nice.
So 3 Pegasi, then.
And then she turns and looks over at you. Ooh, you're big ones, aren't you? Oh, okay. Maybe you two should have your own, and they can share.
Arkno just looks to Valoran and says,
This is of no problem with me.
Spiders crawling back into his hair.
yeah, now that you know what they are, it is incredibly visible that the spiders are just constantly crawling around in my hair.
Valoran literally has that visceral reaction of someone crawling over his grave, and in this case it's a small family of spiders crawling over his grave. No, I actually think 4 would be best. You know how families can be on trips.
See what I mean? Spooky, right? So, do you have enough?
Yes. Well, if you need 4, here's Flicka, Spirit, Angus, and Hidalgo. And he points on over to 4 beautiful Pegasus, majestic. They're with their. Although they, at their base, the Pegasus are white, they seem to glow with a strange astral hue, looking as if you're looking at the stars themselves. They are clad in armor, similar to that of the basic armor of the Miletus army that you're all technically a part of. As they kind of step up, hearing their names, and they clock over, getting closer, standing in a line formation. Choose your Pegaside and, well, let it know where you want to go and it will take you.
Spirit calls to me. Our destiny leads us south. As I hop on the back of Spirit.
Spirit catches you easily, and you can feel very comfortable on top of the steed.
Come on, Cigar, time to get safe, and I'll tuck him into my, t-shirt so he doesn't fly off in the air.
Valoran is going to look at the remaining 3, and then say flicker, but then sit on Angus, because he wasn't really paying attention to when they were listed out. So he's going to flicker for me, and then sits side saddle on Angus.
You go ahead and jump side saddle on Angus. Roll me an animal handling check.
You know, I think I'm just going to keep my mouth shut from now on and just say the basic stuff. Okay. I'm actually bad at this.
Sure about that?
Oh, wait, no, that was acrobatics. So
Yeah, it was
would
acrobatics.
that warrant a reroll?
I'll allow it.
So that'd be a 20.
20, okay. Angus seems a little perturbed and kind of shakes a little bit, but calms down at the moment. You can feel the frustration on the steed as you sit side saddle and begin, and it releases its wings, flourishing it up as kind of crystal clear feathers start to fall down as it begins to take flight.
Arkno turns to Sokali and says,
So, do you wish to have Hidalgo or actual Flicker?
Hidalgo speaks to me. It also reminds me of Heliod, so I think I'll take that one.
And I shall take the one actually named Flicker.
Cool.
Alrighty.
I have not broken eye contact with Valoran the entire time I was saying that.
Yep. Valoran just assumes that Arkno is just horribly confused and is being way too polite to correct him.
Alrighty. So you all hop onto your steeds as they all spread their wings, unfurling them in a beautiful, majestic motion as the satyr goes, well, speak your location and it'll bring you right to it. I would suggest, though, you keep your eyes and your mouth closed, unless, bugs and all that stuff. They go pretty fast.
Whoa. Hidalgo, let's go to Neolanton.
Okay. And after speaking the word of Neolanton, Hidalgo flaps his wings and shoots up faster than, well, if you've ridden these before, which most of you probably have, you brace for the sudden lift as it shoots into the air, flying towards the south instantly.
Destiny awaits us, spirit. To Neolanton.
It flies off, going towards the south to Neolanton.
Telepathically, Valoran is going to reach out to Flicker, and I think maybe then quickly realizing that he has made a grave error, profusely apologizes to Angus, ingraining the Pegasus' name in his mind for forever, and then says Neolanton.
Okay. It flies off.
I was wondering how that was going to work. Neolanton.
Okay. And the same happens, and you guys go off into the star sky, flying fast and furious upon your steeds, only just with the Camp Alepharon just becoming a mere speck beneath your feet as you begin to fly off. So, the time to get from Miletus to Neolanton is not instant. Take you about 4 days to get there. But on these Pegasids, it's half the time. They need very little to no rest, and as you do need to sleep, it does, during the first couple days, you will easily be able to rest along the way, making camp for the most part. So, day 1 passes by, no trouble at all. It's a comfortable flight. You can see the beautiful landscape of Theros beneath you as you begin to fly off. After about the first day ends and the sun still hasn't risen, the Pegasides go down to a safe area that they've inspected, allowing you to rest for that evening. If you want to do anything during these 2-day travels, please let me know. If not, you will just continue to go.
Valoran is just going to basically just inform them what he knows about Pegasi, and that is that Pegasi they need little to no rest, and that traditionally, on foot from Miletus to Neolanton, it would take 4 days, but because we were on the Pegasi, it's only going to take 2 days. He learned that information before we left, and he's been spouting it off.
That's so awesome. I would totally expect that from such a studied scholar like you.
Thanks.
Arkno is literally ignoring that and trying to use his poisoner's kit along with his brothers and sisters to see if he can craft some poison for the journey ahead, just ahead of time.
Alrighty then. Okay, so let's see how well you use your poisoner's kits, which will affect the potency of it. Go ahead and roll me a medicine check at advantage. Farika's very strong these days.
Beautiful. Love that. No, that's...
And if you're proficient in poisoner's kits, then you can add your proficiency bonus.
I mean, I just rolled it from that. So yeah, it's a 18.
Okay. 18. All right. So on the first night, you go ahead and begin crafting your poison and taking some vials and other things that are within the poisoner's kits. There's all types of reagents that you can use and gather many things that are within the area to use to heighten the effects. It's very successful. You can feel Farika guiding your fingers as you start to create this potion, and in no time at all, probably about right before bed, a couple hours before bed, you complete a concoction. It sizzles and bubbles a little bit as you place it into the vials, and you can feel the presence of Farika smiling upon you. Go ahead and roll me a d6, please.
All right. Be a 3.
3, all right. Go ahead and add 3 more points to your overall piety.
Yes.
Does that let you cross the threshold?
That puts me up to 11 piety, so yes.
All right, 11 piety. So that gives you, let's go ahead and see. Okay, well, you get, although you get advantage against being poisoned, which is what everyone has, as Farika is strong these days, but you are immune to diseases.
Sweet. How many vials of poison did I get out of that?
Let's see. I would say you were able to make, roll me a d4, we'll see, and then I'll add a number to that, and that's how many vials you were able to create. Okay,
What?
so you were able to make 3 vials of poison. So I'm going to put 3 poison vials in your inventory, or in the party sheet, you can grab it.
Yep.
And then apply it however you see fit.
Worry about that when I need to poison something.
Possibly when we've set up camp for the evening and after we've cooked food and Arkno's in the process of creating this poison, whether he's listening or not, I'll sort of sit down in front of the campfire and say, "Let me all tell you a tale. It is how I came to the decision that Clothis is the greatest deity among us. Do you know about her? She's been hidden for many, many years." And I'll say, "Sagar came to me with a message from her, a strand of destiny." And I'll put the snake down, and he'll what am I blanking on words? Snake his way over to you guys if you want to pet him. And I'll just sort of spend some time spouting off about Clothis and her return from the underworld, and that she is the greatest deity of all destiny, and her will is in this strands of hair. They flow in the breeze and touch everything. And I am a representation of her will. And it is destiny that we are brought together to right this travesty to the land.
SoCal pulls out his lute while you're telling this tale, and while not hearing any direct jibes at Heliod during the telling of this story, he finds the right key for the tone of this hero's journey storytelling moment, and adds to the ambiance of what you're saying.
I am proficient in insight, so as you start playing music, I'll sort of nod to you, and I'll say, and it is true, she is the keeper of balance and destiny, and, well, we don't always see eye to eye, as you maybe ding, 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 and I nod to you. It is true that Erebos has taken this too far. Night time should not be this long. I love a good chill, and a frosty eve, but nigh is the night all in front of us. Or nigh is the day in front of us. You know, it's sort of like my lefts and my rights. I still get them mixed up sometimes. But you're all right. At least tonight. And I'll continue my tale and sort of reel in my tangent.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a performance check at advantage.
Well, I didn't say I was proficient in performance, but we'll see.
Also, you said you had Cigar, like, wandering around so we could pet him?
Yeah, Cigar was wandering around so we could pet him, so...
I definitely pet him.
And also, there's sort of like a fervor and like rage, a little bit of a rage about me, but like as I'm speaking, you almost see sort of like soft glows of like light colors, like almost as if like an aura is coming off of me as I'm like very heatedly telling this story, and that would be a natural 20 performance.
Okay, natural 20. Alright, so due to the aid of So-Kali boistering, you're telling this tale of your goddess. So-Kali, you can feel a little bit of warmth appear around you as you're helping exemplify a story of heroism, and you get an inspiration point that can be used to roll something at advantage, or make something roll at disadvantage. But Dirk, roll me a d6.
A 4.
4. Alrighty then. You earn 5 points of piety because you are telling a tale of your goddess, Clothis, who loves to have her name on the tips of everyone's tongue, who loves to have people learn of destiny and of fate. And you can feel her embrace circle you, knowing that you've done her bidding well, and you earn 5 piety points. Does that put you over a threshold?
Ooh, yes, it just hits me to 10.
10, alrighty. And so Clothis at 10 gives you...
I can cast
clairvoyance. Very nice. So I'll go ahead and place clairvoyance into your sheet, and you can use it a number of times from your wisdom modifier.
So once a day.
Once a day, yes.
Destiny shines upon us this evening, my friends.
Trying to decipher ancient prophecies, I'd say that's a pretty good ability to have.
Yes, you also get advantage against saving those against being charmed. Very nice.
Awesome.
Alrighty.
So I'll take about an hour to like tell this like major story and have my, white snake slither around and sort of befriend everybody, as he's the charmer of the group.
Okay. So you guys go continuing throughout the night, creating your poison, telling your stories, and resting. As you wake up the next day, and it is that. The sun rises over the horizon. Warmth is once again returned to the land of Theros, albeit who knows how brief. You guys, your Pegasides, they wake you up as you getting anxious to continue the last part of your journey as you all arise from your slumber. If there's nothing more you wish to do, you can mount your Pegasus and continue heading down towards Neolanton.
I wanted to say like up in Adam, but I'm trying to think of like up in Hercules, but like like I'm trying to think of like
the basic ancient Greek name.
Right, yeah. Instead I'll say a little presumptuous of your god here, So-Kali. Couldn't wait for us to come and save him, could he? As the first cracks of light break on our face, and we're awakened by the steeds.
Heliod always says, he who helps himself.
Did you finish? Is there more?
That sounded
That's
like
it.
half a sentence.
That's it.
So selfish.
The rest is implied that you will be successful, you know? It makes sense. I don't know why you don't get it.
A little too open-ended, in my opinion.
Open-ended like the rays of the sun. Taking that warmth. Thank you, Heliod. As I feel the morning breeze and the rays of dawn begin to warm my skin.
Maybe we get going.
I agree.
Sorry, Valorant had just been hugging Angus all night, just for warmth. And then waking up, just kind of on hearing the others, it's like, okay, they can't see this, so just kind of half crawls away, and then just kind of stands up, dusts himself off a small bit, and the sun. Have we done it? Is that it? Are we?
No, we're still a day's journey towards our first destination.
Right then, I suppose we best head off then.
Exactly. I concur with you.
I'm already on my Pegasi.
Me too.
Okay, so you all hop onto your steeds, once again proclaiming the name of Neolanton as it flies off, following south, the sun onto your side, feeling warm. It's been quite some time, but you do know this, as the days continue, this could just be only a brief respite, as the darkness surely comes up again, bringing back with it the long night. And it does. As you continue flying throughout the rest of the day, the sun begins to set extremely early. The moon rises high and the stars come out at night. A cold chill is brought to you as you're high, flying up on your horse, on your Pegasus. A slight shiver for those of you who are affected by the cold as they begin to start to descend off into the distance. Actually, everyone, please roll me a perception check.
Well, we're dead.
Okay, so a 9 for Dirk, an 8 for Arkno, a 12 for Valorin, and a 6 for Sokali. Valorin, as you're still flying high and fast, although you've slowed down as you start to see that the Pegasus are starting to descend. Off into the distance, you can make out what looks to be a small forest and a dust cloud beginning to pick up. You can't quite make out what's over there, but you do. There definitely looks to be activity, probably about a mile or so away, as you are starting to descend down. As you look down to where you're going, off into the distance, not more than a half mile away, you see the ocean. Ocean birds such as seagulls are flying off into the distance. And you can smell briefly the scent of salt water as a small coastal town is before you. There are 3 who looks to be humanoids. As you're getting now, at this point, you all can start to see it as you're getting lower and lower. That there's 3 humanoids standing before you or below you, waving their hands as the Pegasus seem to be going down close towards them. Eventually, they land onto the ground. Getting low for you to dismount from them. Once you do, the Pegasus looks at each and every one of you, give you a bow, and begin to fly off.
Thanks for the ride, Spirit. Safe home.
Flies off. The guards walk up. They look to be dressed in normal Militian attire, showing that they're still part of Polis's territory. Albeit there's more of like fish scales in their armor, something signifying that they're part of a coastal city's watch. As one gentleman says, "Halt! Please, halt! Great heroes. I can see from your majestic steeds that you must be from Camp Alepharin."
Yes.
That's
Pythia
right.
has sent us. On behalf of the gods.
Take it easy.
No, this is of high destiny.
Well, we wish you great success in your journey, but if you are heading towards the town Neolanton, I'm sorry, but I cannot let you in. The magistrates have closed off our borders. You see, we have been plagued by thieving centaurs. Their bases, we don't even know. They're always moving, but they keep stealing and ravaging and pillaging. So, I'm sorry, but an order of the magistrate of Neolanton, while they are still a scourge upon our shores, we cannot let you in.
This is your fault. And I point to Sokali.
I chuff like a big breath of air out of my nostrils. I hate centaurs. They're the worst. Can we take care of this problem for you?
Well, the guard says, stepping up, that would be a great help. If you can find them, of course, but healers such as yourselves, I'm sure, will probably be able to solve it. Oh, praise the gods, praise them.
Praise them.
There is no centaur that will get in the way of me fulfilling the needs of Heliod.
Well, yes, if you can bring some sort of proof of your success and you rid us of that scourge, maybe in return all what has been stolen, then I'm sure the magistrate will love to open up the gates once again, and trade can once again continue from you northerners.
All right, so what do we do, guys?
So has everyone been evacuated from Neolinton?
Oh, no. They're all just closed inside. The gates are locked, so that way no one sneaks in.
That sounds like a
centaurs can
death
be.
sentence. That's pretty harsh.
Yes, we have lost a lot of trade, but what are we going to do? Every time we send someone out, they are either ransacked or... Well, none have been killed, luckily, but their belongings have been pillaged.
Heliod notwithstanding, of course. Perhaps the guards in front of us could provide us with some basic information. What can you tell us, pray tell, of the raiding parties? How many in their numbers? What direction do they come from? Where can we go?
See, this is knowledge we expect from a true leader. I took a look at Sokali as I gestured to Valoran.
The guard begins to scratch his chin. Well, their numbers, the most we've seen are about 10 in their pack, whatever they're called. They come from all different places, always moving. Every time we try to send out scouts, they're either lost or beaten up and then tied up, and then they move their location. I can't tell you exactly where they were, but there's lots of them. I'm sure they would cause some type of sign showing them, but right now the magistrate has said we must stay here and defend.
I lean into Arkno and I say, it's because they have so many feet. They can move so quickly.
Yes, that very good.
And I pat him on the arm.
The dust storm that Valoran saw as we were descending, was that away from Neolanthan in terms of the direction we would have been heading? Is that, whether he's going to do it correctly or not, Valoran's going to assume that dust centaurs, large pack, possibly kicking stuff up into the air as they are stampeding or running through the lands and stuff like that. So, as a genius, he has put those two things together.
And it was about a mile away from where you are now. Definitely towards the west. So perhaps it could be them. It was in like a forest clearing. Couldn't really make it out, unfortunately, with your last perception.
You said a dust storm. I didn't see anything.
Of course not. No, my eyes are always open, always watching, always just taking in the world around me. It's a quirk of mine. Don't fret.
Worldly.
It's to the west. If we traverse to the west, no doubt we'll be hot on their heels or their hooves, in this case. And you can, and this is to the guards, you can vouch that on us dealing with these vagabonds that we will be able to access the city or the town.
Well then, the guard steps up. Well then, I feel like we are in good hands. Thank you, heroes. Please return the belongings, and I'm sure the magistrate will open up the doors, and you can enter into Neolantern to do, well, whatever your quest or whatever you happen to need awaits you. And the guard steps back, going back into position, looking around and scanning the area.
Valoran, do you really believe that the dust storm could be the centaurs?
Well, it was a very quick glance. I will admit to that. However, based on what I know of centaurs and their average size, the speed at which they were traveling, the wind speed, of course, as we were landing, I factored all of this in. And based on the terrain and the average weight of your centaur, yes, I would stake my reputation on it.
Well, destiny has it. Another hair of Clothis touched me last night, and I have been granted the sight of clairvoyance. I believe I now have the ability to sense around me. Clothis's will! She infuses me, and I might be able to look inside this dust storm. It's new magics to me.
Alrighty, so what do you wish to do?
You clearly see that Dirk's opinion, he proposes this idea, and he looks only to Valaren. He does not look at Arkno or Sokali, disregarding their opinions in this plan.
Yes, that would be quite a quite a reasonable strategy. Yes, it is always best to ascertain the situation before one charges. I almost said bullheaded, but somewhat more aggressively so. So yes, I if we were to draw closer to the dust storm, then Dirk, based on your blessings from the Almighty Clothis, yes, I do think it wise that before we engage it in any shape or form, that you do take a look-sees inside.
Perhaps this vision will be granted to all of you. I do not know how this works. It is new to me. But yes. And just so you all know, the clairvoyance spell says within a 1 mile range, a place I know or familiar, or an obvious location that is unfamiliar, such as behind a door, a grove of trees. So as long as we're within a mile of it, I might be able to drop a sensor in that dust storm and sort of perceive what happens. So, but it will take me 10 minutes to cast. So I'll turn to Arkno and Sokali and say, so we've decided that we'll cast clairvoyance to decipher if the dust storm is really the best course of action. That is what Valaren has decided is the most prudent thing for us.
I'm glad that we came to this decision together as a group.
Yes, me too. Valaren is the best leader for us. As I glare at Sokali.
I don't know why you have to be like that. I think it's a great plan.
Good. So we're all in agreement.
Yes, we are all in agreement. It is a fantastic plan that I did come up with. But as to the enacting of it, well, Dirk, I leave that to you in your very capable hands.
Okay, we'll stand back, and we'll sort of back away from the guards and sort of go to a clearing, just a little bit away from where we are. And I'll say, you said it was in this direction, and I am trained in survival, so I should have a decent awareness of the land.
Yes, west.
West, okay.
Okay. So if you look to the west, it's not too difficult to see the giant grove, though from this position you won't be able to really see the dust pick up. Though from where Valaren has described, you can probably make out that about a mile away, just off in the distance, you can barely see that there's a collection of trees. Perhaps that's where he was talking about?
Okay, I do see it. It is there. Yes, okay. Cigar, can I have that luck stone? Yes, just for a moment. I'll give it right back to you. And he slithers over and hands me the stone. And I'll say, I've not tried this before, but I believe it might take me a minute to get into a good rhythm. And I will take my giant axe of Clothis, and it has sort of a spear at the end of it, the bottom tip of it, and I'll spear it into the earth, and I'll have my great axe sort of stand tall, and in the wind, it has this sort of tassels from the top, long thin strands of white hair, and I will do a tribal dance in a circle around it. Making these like loud grunting noises as I like slap my chest and slap my knees. And as I do so, I'll stomp my feet and leave impressions into the ground. And this energy will start to erupt from around me. And quite dichotically, Cigar will always maintain exact opposite formation and circle around me as he slithers. So it's like we're doing the two of us doing this like dance, and he's clearly just a snake slithering around in a circle, but I'm like acting like as if he's another dude like casting this spell, grunting with me, and I'm very focused, and it takes 10 minutes to cast, so after a minute or two I'm like really into a rhythm, and my white hair will start to stand on end, and even my ponytail, the cloth that keeps it together, will come undone, and my long back hair will sort of stand on end as the magic fills me and fills this space as I cast clairvoyance using my newfound gift.
Valorant's just going to lean into Arachno and Sokali and just be like, you really have to appreciate the showmanship.
I'm more impressed by his endurance. He's been going for so long.
I've seen better.
Have you? You've
Yeah.
seen better views into godhood through interpretive dance?
I mean, I am a bard from the College of Glamour. I just...
You know what? That's on me then.
I mean, here, let's have some fun with it. And I just kind of cast Thunderclap and Dancing Lights. Thunderclap first to make the noise, and then the Dancing Lights to swirl around Dirk as he does this, kind of going counterclockwise to what the snake circular motion is going. Just enhancing this overall show that is being performed right now.
All right. So you go ahead and aid Dirk in his ritualistic dance. Dirk, you begin to summon the powers of your goddess as you all start to see the air circle and coalesce around Dirk as he's performing these movements. The dance is majestic and beautiful in a way, though brutish as well. Due to his nature of being like a large Goliath of a creature. As he begins to step, the earth begins to boom and shake with each step, on point with the thunder abilities of SoCal. And in doing so, after about 10 minutes of you just watching this show, it climax to a large thunderish crash where the guards who were standing there are like, oh, and they were just mesmerized by this dance as well, as the energy of the stars begins to like dust from the sky falls down and starts to surround and circle around the neck of Dirk, revealing to be a small ball, like a little starlight that appears that only that for a moment shows to all of you, and then unless you can see things invisibly, as you have an ability, it disappears in that moment. And it shoots across, and you can feel it. Your mental connection to it, Dirk, you can feel it shoot almost at the speed of light towards the direction where you sent it, as it flies and goes in that direction, empowered by your goddess. What aspect are you selecting, to hear or to see?
First, to see. I'm looking to see if I can visually find any centaurs.
Okay. So, you go ahead and kind of like your third eye opens up. There you can see in a strange haze around your peripherals, you shooting through branches and trees in a forest, going through, and it's dark, be it as the night has once again appeared, but you're still able to view at least everything within. It's not... The moon is shining down, so it does give you some light, but since you don't have dark vision, you're not able to see as far as you would like, though it does go and begin to shoot throughout all the branches and bushes until finally reaching inside of a large clearing. There you see about 16 centaurs walking around. You begin to peer and watch as the orb circles the encampment. You see their lips moving but don't hear what they're saying. Roll me a quick perception check. At disadvantage. It is dark.
That's a big 7.
7. You can't tell, like, their weaponry and the things they have around. They have things hidden and you can't see, but you do see gleaming off of the canopies of the forest don't reach that high. So, and there is a clearing, so you do, and that's the clearing where you assume Valoran was able to see the dust cloud. Looks like they probably recently made it here and have made a small camp. You do see, however, piles of treasure around, and you can assume this is what was stolen from Neil Lanton.
Okay, and since I've completed my dance, am I just, like, standing there? Like, still, like, looking this? And none of them see it, just me, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you all see me standing there with, like, my hands up to my temple, and I'm just standing, like, perfectly still. And then I'll gasp and open my eyes and say, "They're there, I see them. Hold on, I'm going to see if I can hear anything. There's also treasure about." Valoran, you are so right. You're a genius, as we are all so gracious to have you. And I will close my eyes again, and then this time put my fingers in my ears and switch it to you hearing, because I can do so as an action.
And as an action, you go ahead and switch it. Your sight disappears, but you're able to hear clearly. Nothing is needed, impedes your ability to listen in as you begin to eavesdrop. You hear one centaur say, "So, my lady, looks like we got a good haul here. When are we gonna go and make another strike?" And then a female voice says, well. They seem to have grown some wits, I assume. They've closed off the borders, but no worries there. We have ways to sneak in. They're not... Well, let's just say I have spies on the inside. I think we've been a little too kind, don't you think, everyone? And everyone begins to rile up. I think they've been hiding out. All the good stuff. You know, those magistrates, those greedy politicians. Let's take from them everything we can tomorrow. I'll have someone procure us an entrance. And instead of leaving them unmaimed, let's chop off a leg or two. What do you say? Does that quell your bloodlust, boys? And everyone begins to scream and shout in pure pleasure and hedonistic yells. It seems they are eager to shed some blood. But keep a watch. You know them, they're squarely. You two, guard the entrance to the east, you three to the west. Don't worry about the southern entrance. We have traps there. I'd rather just spread our forces to where our defenses are weaker. Got it? Yes, ma'am, they all say. And for the most part, they just kind of mumble and talk amongst themselves.
You all see Dirk scratching like tally marks in the ground in front of him as he unplugs one of his ears. I'll then gasp again. Okay. Did you see that? Did you hear that?
That's not how the spell works, man.
Oh, well, I did. They're there. They've stolen things. They have spies in the city. They're going to attack in the morning. And then I look towards the scratch marks I've made in the ground. They said that they're having extra forces on the east side of their camp, 3 tallies, 3 extra men on the west, and the south is unguarded but loaded with traps.
Seems like we should go from the south then. At least we would be able to maybe avoid the traps and not be seen or heard.
Do you think, pray tell, we should inform the guards that there are people on the inside within the city?
She said they sneak in because they have spies on the inside. The guards may be compromised.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough time with the attack apparently coming tomorrow. And we don't really know anybody that we can really trust either. It's a bummer.
Don't you worry. I have ways and means. And Valoran just kind of flicks out the tails of his coat and turns to the two guards and just stares at both of them. Just the one on the left. And I have detect thoughts and would very much like to skim the surfaces of this city servant's mind, just to see if, as I'm speaking to him, maybe things might come to the surface that he may try and hide. And if not, then great, we can trust him.
All right. You go ahead and look and cast your Detect Thought spell. They were looking at you, and then as you've been conversing to yourselves, they've been just patrolling the area. In that moment of them looking away, you cast your spell, getting one of the guards getting one into the head of one of the guards. There, you're able to get his surface thoughts, and it seems that he's very hungry, he's very cold, and he's very worried, though he is hopeful due to the fact that heroes have come.
As I'm, since I have him kind of, I'm able to connect with his kind of surface thoughts, I'm just going to maybe follow a quick line of questioning. By any chance, are you aware of people within the town walls who may have a reason to aid the centaurs? Is there anybody that may have been able to profit from some sort of fiasco?
He turns to you. No one would dare do such a thing. It puts Neil Lantin in a dire situation. And you begin to read his thoughts, and you say that, and you hear him think. But there was rumors of one magistrate, Leonis. He is greedy. What if this was a ploy from him? No. Never. A magistrate would never do such a thing. And then that's his thoughts, but he comes out and says, No. There's no one within Neil Lantin who would do such a thing. Why would you even question such?
Oh, I'm just naturally suspicious of everybody. Listen, we have learned that the centaurs mean to escalate their attacks. Best you warn those inside, though friend to friend. If you, and I'm kind of like looking him dead in the eye, if you would have, any doubts of certain individuals, best you maybe steer clear of them for fear they catch wind of this, that we don't want them knowing that we know that they know that we know what they don't know.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly. Yep.
Right. Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh, finally, something that I am really good at. What I lack in academics, I make up for in being a persuasive, deceptive little... That is a 24.
24, nice. He goes and nods his head. Yes. And you're the hero. You know best. We'll alert, but we'll make sure to keep you out of it and be on our toes. Maybe there is some truth to what you say. Come along. As he goes, the other guards and the other one, they all salute and begin to head back to the city with the news that you've given them.
And Valoran's just going to turn to the others and be like, well, they're off warning. That's great. Means there might be a little less death tomorrow. I have kind of gleaned a name that, if the traps... if perhaps one of you has much more experience, the proclivities required to unearth traps. But if not, I do have a name that may buy us a way in. They referred to one of the magistrates, a Magistrate Leonis. There's doubts around his allegiances, and we may be able to capitalize on those. We may, a ruse, some sort of Trojan-esque lie, would you? That we'd buy our way in, and then once inside, make a lay of the land and ascertain whether or not we'd, be able to dispatch them or convince them to shuffle on while reclaiming the loot.
I totally have heard of that a crow and horse you're talking about. I think, yeah, that could totally work. What was the name again? You said it was Leonis?
Yes, that is the correct name. That's one of the correct things that I said.
Excellent.
The person that was riling up the centaurs was a lady, though. A lady magistrate.
Are you sure it just wasn't a lady centaur?
Oh, no, I couldn't see. I assumed the magistrate was there riling them. I guess it makes more sense that it was a centaur.
I guess we'll find
Leonis
out.
is one of those names these days. Everybody's using it, so who knows?
Yeah.
That's true. So let's go? Which way did you want to go then?
Arkno, have you any dealings? You have a look of the wilderness about you. Maybe you know your way around a trap or two?
Navigating the traps is not what concerns me. It is more us going into combat against what seems to be a small army that is confident in its ability to take on a city. The question here for me is more, what do we feel more confident in? Fighting off this attack, or seeing if we can work our way into the city?
If we get to surprising them, we get to count ourselves as twice as many people, because they're sleeping. We can
How
kill
many
them.
did you say there were again?
A dozen or so?
That still means we're outnumbered.
I thought you have your brothers and sisters, and Cigar's right here. Don't forget about him.
My brothers and sisters fight with me. They're not...
There's at
Have you-
least 7 of us here.
Valorant's just squeezing the bridge of his nose.
So Callie, actually counts, and it's not computing.
I've concocted a plan for this situation. I'll present myself to the centaurs, while I'm no doubt subduing them with my wits. The 3 of you may attempt to ingratiate yourselves with the camp, a la a hidden way, or perhaps you'd like to travel south. If I'm caught, well, no doubt I'll be able to talk my way out of it. And I am more than confident in the 3 of your abilities to, at the very least, hit things.
I know how to take apart a trap. I could even set one, too, if I need to.
Wonderful. Well then, why don't I converse with the centaurs and no doubt enrapture them in deep, meaningful conversation. I can use this Leonis name as a way in, like a little invitation, and the 3 of you can, or whatever you may wish, but I think it best that we deal with the centaurs rather than the city. If we vex the centaurs, well, at least we'll just have vexed some centaurs. If we vex the city officials, we won't be getting into the city.
A fair point.
And I can totally be charming.
Hex them? Do you know how to curse them?
Vex. There's the H is silent.
Oh, okay. And you see him put his finger to his temple and look at Cigar, like he's mentally saying something to his snake, and then you might hear under your breath we'll look up that word later.
Alrighty. So, what are you guys wishing to do? What is your plan?
Our plan seems to be to send the squishy boy in as a distraction while the 3 of us stealth around.
Yeah, sneak in and try and ambush him.
All else fails, I've got an Ahura fan dance I can do somewhere, so we can see how that works.
Yeah, and I can cast Charm Person to help you out in these negotiations if you need it.
it could be worthwhile then that I would have a body. I mean, I am a gangly beanstalk. I'm definitely not going to be any kind of threat, but perhaps it would be wise to bring a bodyguard for fear, and then the charm person comes in handy as our emergency way out of it.
That's a good idea. That means we can take our families and sneak in much more easily without him. He's, and I make a big gesture, even though I'm also 6 feet tall and a wide, very thick guy. But he's still got a head on me, so.
Alrighty. So the plan seems to be 2 of you, Valoran and Kali, go in while the rest of you, the other two of you, to sneak in through one of the other sides. Does that seem to be the case?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And so it will probably take you about 20 minutes or so to make it down there. You gather your things, the guards have already left, and start to make your way towards the grove of trees. About 20 minutes pass before you reach the entrance. You all look at each other, going your separate ways.
I have a quick question there, before we split. Would it be, like, we're gonna split and then they're gonna go, like, walk in, like, pretty much immediately to...
That's what I assumed, unless that's not the case.
Okay. Yeah, I have a thing I want to do before we split, though.
Okay, so you guys have reached the entrance of the forest. So far, it doesn't seem like there's anyone here, though you know that they are lying in wait somewhere within. You are at the northern side, so if those of you want to go to the southern side where just the traps are, it'll take you an extra 10 minutes, but you can easily make it there. But what would you like to do?
All right. It seems as if you might go engage with them soon, but before we go, I have a parting gift. And I'm going to go as if I'm going to clap my hands, but then I stop and I'll start rubbing them. And then when I pull my hands apart, they're glowing, sort of like glittery, like multiple colors, and sort of like warm. And I'm going to reach forward and touch my hands on Valarin's cheeks and infuse him with some bolstering magic. And for the next 10 minutes, you will have an extra D3 on all checks you make. And attacks. It's like a lesser bless,
Okay.
except it lasts for 10 minutes.
Just as Valorant says, like, my, your hands are very moist, and then just kind of like pull back a little bit, and then just with his cough, just that's the word I would use too.
And warm. It's the touch of destiny. Blessings upon you.
Destiny's a bit damp, and just wipe it down.
Alrighty. Before you head, due to you trying to keep things under the wraps as you told the guards to go in there, that is a tenet of Krufix. So go ahead and roll me a d6, Valoran.
1.
Okay. You feel the presence, very so slight, the god of secrets and time, mysteries. You get 2 extra piety points. Does that bring you over to any threshold, or just adds to your number?
It just adds, yeah.
Okay. All right. So as you all go and separate, the 2, Valoran and Kali walking into the main entrance, while Arkno and Dirk go around to the side to the back to find out more and go into this camp of centaurs. We will take a break. So we will put in the bookmark and continue our epic tale after this.
Hey Dungeon Delvers, Travis here. You hear me weekly as King on Descent into the Void, but I'm also a Tale of D20's Director of Operations. We wanted to let you know we're looking to grow our library of assets and improve our quality and need your help. Please visit patreon.com/a-tale-of-d20s and know that every dollar spent goes to helping a Black-owned, LGBTQIA+ inclusive business thrive. Again, Thanks for listening and being a part of our hashtag #ATODFam and experiencing our tales with us. From the first chapter to the last page, we love you, be kind to one another, and we'll all see you next time.